Nice. Nice.
We're live.
We are.
Here I am, busy having lunch on air. Welcome back, dude. Welcome back. It's so nice to have you back.
They tried to stop me getting back.
I'm not surprised. I'd try and stop you as well.
KLM, I'm coming for you.
You had major delays, didn't you?
Yeah.
So how was your trip? You have a good time off? You actually
it was great.
You actually managed to not come online at all. Like, didn't see you not once.
I think it was partly wanting to switch off and partly if I'd have been caught on deck screen, I think my wife would have taken a skewer out the nearest piece of tapas and stuck it in my eye, I think. So
so there's lots there's lots going on at the moment. You actually missed, well, you didn't really miss much, but you also missed quite a bit in terms of like the whole Ansem like arc and just like, which I'll get into during the show, and then like kind of like this the sentiment around where we're at in the cycle. That was quite interesting. But I think generally speaking, it's been more of the same. Like freaking memes continue to just like dominate, as you know, as you've realized the last couple of days. And then also like there's kind of like some little hints that things might be getting a little bit more interesting on the DeFi side of things. And I hope I'm right. I mean, obviously I'm biased because I've really missed that, but it just seems like we've got Tapioca going live on the 11th of June. We've got IONET who announced, well, they haven't really done a big announcement, not that I've seen, but Binance did it for them. Binance have come out. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty significant thing. So despite all the FUD that Shrek tried to put out, you know, it's kind of like all he did was just do everyone a favor to create awareness, and everyone knows that he's developing a project that's competing against IONET. So no surprises there from a known criminal, well, convicted criminal, I think. You know, like has always boasted about how prison has been a benefit to him. Clearly, that whole rolling in the mud thing didn't work for him on this. So, yeah, there's an interesting week coming up. That's been kind of on my radar, and then I've just been focusing on my side on pretty much the blue chips on the memes, taking a couple of small punts on other stuff. I know that Dan's been going on about this Euro stuff, and I think
Dan's on a fucking rampage.
He's on a rampage at the moment, which has been pretty cool. Anyways, enough of me rambling on. What's going on your side? How have you found things? That's the first question, I suppose.
Yeah, I said it on Round Trippers in our Discord stream Tuesday. What day are we on? Thursday. I'm on about 25 different time zones at the minute. My body's on one, my mind's on the other. But yeah, like, just checking in, like an alien checking in on Earth was like me checking in on what was happening in Discord and Twitter and stuff. And as soon as I seen these celebrity coins come, I was just like, right, yeah, fuck this. I'm out. I'm not. I'm done here. But yeah, it's just been trying to catch up. A lot of people said nothing much has changed. The only thing that changes, and I'm right. Well, I was supposed to be writing a script to do a video for Blockmates TV, which is the new home of Shitcoin Church. We still have the other channel that's for kind of founder interviews and shit, but this is going to be more like actionable stuff. So if you listen on here, please give us a subscribe because YouTube's a bastard to grow. So that'd be helpful. But yeah, I was doing some kind of notes for a script for kind of a video on taking 4 figs to 6 figs. And then I was like speaking about it, like how you have to go where the attention is, pick up on narratives, and obviously this cycle has been a cycle of meme coins and shit coins. And then I was like, but then there's like narratives inside a narrative, and not to go like to Inception, but you kind of have to be so. You've got to do it 2 ways. You've got to be just plant some seeds and fucking forget about it, and hopefully one of those really, really just takes off. And if there's a new kind of emerging narrative inside the narrative, you've got to plant some more seeds, or you've just got to be fucking on it, and you've just got to be tracking wallets. You got to be seeing who's getting tipped off. You got to be checking pump, see what kind of recurrent themes you're seeing, and as much as I think it's a lot, the accessibility is a lot easier, and I think the upside is a lot easier this cycle for new participants. I also think it's extremely fast paced, and I think trying to keep up with everything, if you're not like a complete like degenerate who's like on it 24/7, I think you might struggle. You can still catch stuff, but like trying to be like really early, that kind of that edge is quickly eroding as we're seeing. But yeah, you need a good squad of people in Discord and Telegrams and some good bots to run some contracts through and stuff like that, or you're just gonna get left behind, I think. But yeah, it's I'm just trying to catch back up, but that was my initial kind of thoughts coming into the week.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's what you raise is, there's this thread that I did a long time ago, and it's still pinned on my Twitter. And that's kind of like one of the most important ingredients is to have like people in a crew that actually know their stuff, and even if you've got someone who might almost be like a counter trade to things, that's also a good person to have in the group. There's always going to be one person or two people who consistently get it wrong, so don't like go and join a group or be in a group and you quickly pick up that Jedi fucking always gets it wrong. It doesn't matter. Point is, you just avoid what that person is saying, and then you kind of like figure out, like I think someone who consistently gets it right would be like within the Blockmates community would be someone like Mantra, and then like someone like Luke would be almost like
charts up
a thesis. Like there's a fucking thesis there, dude. It's not just while I'm making a pick based on a feeling in my left testicle. It's like I'll give you a thesis and it'll be 64 pages long. So, between those two, you're pretty like guaranteed that, well, not guaranteed, but you got a good chance of getting a winner. I mean, frickin' Luke was writing about BNB literally months ago, I think from April and even before then. And look at BNB's done a 3x since the bottom. And, these are the kind of things that are in front of us all the time. It's just whether you're willing to actually pay attention. Like, what are you paying attention to? Are you trying to throw $200 into every single coin that comes your way? Or are you actually scanning the room, making bets on different risk profiles? Okay, well, I'm going to take a less risky play and I'm going to put a little bit more money into something like BNB. Don't read what Adam Cockering is writing because he's biased. Cool. Like, go and find the real alpha. The real alpha is right there. It's in front of you. Don't try and conjure your own alpha. Find it. It's there. There's people out there that know their shit, and you can do really well. It's really that, as far as I'm concerned, it really is that simple, but it does take time and it does take trial and error.
Yeah, BNB was just staring everyone in the face, wasn't it? And then, to be fair, like, looking at the circulating supply at their previous all-time high compared to now, it's that those utility sinks that Binance has across fucking however many like use cases the BNB token has, that's how you get a proper buyback and burn. Like, there's no point having a buyback and burn and it's going to be like fucking $40 a day or some shit. Like, look at this. Burned in the last 7 days, 415,000. I can imagine this is a real-time burn mechanism. Q1 670,000. No,
670 million, bro.
Fuck me.
They've been doing it since its inception. It's just one of those things that they've been doing.
So when we went into the bear market, when we had that community sheet where it was working out the inflation schedules and which assets had pulled back the least, there was GMX, and obviously that was like the darling child of the bear market, and then there was BNB, and it always just kind of trickled along. Do you know what I mean? And then obviously, CZ's obviously found a smartphone in prison that he might have had shoved up his anus, and he's started putting the bid on BNB. else is he gonna do? But yeah, it's good to see.
Yeah, it's great to see. I mean, I didn't see this coming really. It wasn't on my radar in the slightest. And it's surprising because I did really well with it in 2020 going into 21. I mean, I ended up buying this thing at like $15 and just had an amazing trade off the back of this thing. And I think, you know, all the FUD just kind of like eroded my tolerance for it. I don't know, but obviously regret it now. But I'm stoked that it's doing well. We've always said it. Like, you know, a thriving Binance is always going to be good for the space. Sitting there and wishing Binance goes down is probably the single most ridiculous thing ever. You know, like, yeah, 15 cents was the ICO. Can you believe it? Sitting at $700 now. Do the math, guys. 4,700x. Wow. Unbelievable.
You don't get this kind of ICO no more, though, I don't think.
Solana was very similar, wasn't it? It was like at a 15 mil eval, and then it listed at like 2.5
I think that
bill.
was, yeah, I think it was private round though.
Oh, okay.
I don't think you'd like ICO 22 cents. Oh, I suppose it's fucking still brilliant returns. Still nothing
But
on
BNB is 10x that, dude. Well,
and you've constantly got that buyback and burn pressure of why people like that as well. Is you don't, if you're going to hold it long term, you don't necessarily have. Well, what's the other options? You get paid in rewards. You got to realize the rewards. Got a taxable event. Like buyback and burn is like you don't really have that, do you? So, but it doesn't. It doesn't work if you're just saying you're going to do buyback and burn for the sake of buyback and burn. And it also didn't work if you remember. Like it was buyback and distribute, I think, with Spell. You remember, like everyone knew when the Merlin candle was coming, and then immediately it just gets sold into and stuff. So it has to be like a TWAP.
The Merlin candle.
Yeah.
The Merlin candle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stoked to see BNB doing well. Just go to the Bitcoin chart quickly. It's actually quite interesting. It's busy tapping on resistance at the moment. And I think that resistance is that knick-knack in the door. That's, yeah, I don't think there's actually, I mean, you could argue it's quite significant, but I think it's going to break through that quite soon. And secondly, the people who have been calling for a quiet summer, I think they're full of shit. They've made way too much money in the cycle already. And for us poors who haven't, I'm looking forward to a very busy and thriving and bullish summer.
Yeah, I think the same. I think I posted it yesterday. I think if anything, we push through here. You're starting to see a lot of good bullish confluence around. Like Robinhood are not just going to go and pick up a fucking crypto exchange if they don't think that there's going to be a turn in the tide. They're not fucking stupid, those guys.
Yep.
200 million. I think that's a great deal.
I think it's a great deal as well. I mean, I reckon the users alone are worth that. I mean, but that's what they're buying. But I think the users that they can kind of manipulate into the other products, I think, is worth that.
100%. Do you want to have a look at ETH? I don't want to make anyone sick, but we'll have a little look. It looks decent, to be fair. Like
I think ETH's doing fine, and ETH's gonna have its ridiculousness. Anyone who thinks it hasn't been in the space for long enough, and if you have been here long enough, then you know what happens. Don't deny it.
Yeah, so VanEck releases 22K price target on ETH.
By 2030, though, I think they're off. And I'm surprised that they would only put a 22K price tag on that. But I'm pretty sure that there's something tactical about that statement. I'm not entirely sure what it is. But VanEck have been around in the space and doing stuff a lot longer than people think. I mean, I've referred to this interview before. Mr. Banana, Raoul Pal, actually interviewed the son of the founder of VanEck, and he knows his stuff, man. I mean, he's borderline boomer. He's definitely an older dude. I think he's probably going into his early 60s. And he was talking about Solana and Ethereum like they were bosom buddies. So they know what they're doing.
You're going to need a futures ETF for Solana first.
It's coming. It'll definitely come. This thing, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Sol ETH top callers as well. Let's have a little look at that. And then we'll start getting into some of the real juicy shit. Let's have a look. I can't really take too much from that. It could potentially break down. I know there's some really large accounts calling, but honestly, if just as we were saying earlier, if there's anything to be taken from stepping away for a couple of weeks to go on holidays, I'm spending less time on Twitter and more in Telegram and Discord. Primarily our Discord, which if anyone is in our Discord, go to the Blocmates account and join, because I'm thinking about shutting it again. So you might only have a small opportune window to actually join.
Are you honestly thinking of shutting it again? Really?
It's been open for a while now, yeah. So people have had the opportunity. So
okay, I like that actually. Yeah, the people are making great calls in Discord, and you don't even have to be a member of the meal deal. It's all happening in the pit at the moment. If you don't know what that is, just join our Discord. Both Grant and I have the link to our Discords in our profiles on Twitter. It's free, and it sounds like Grant's going to close it soon. So get in there.
I popped into general chat 2 days ago, and there was someone had popped up about this new runes that had launched for like 500k, and it was one of those I'll buy it in the morning, and I woke up and it had fucking 6x.
Oh wow!
It's just like,
so are runes back on the menu? It seems
they are. They certainly are. My man, Mr. Yen.
You've been posting about this 2 days ago. I saw you post about this. Okay,
I just
Mr.
love it.
Yen.
I can't.
Wow, that looks good, man.
So they've got this charting feature on Magic Eden at the minute. So I don't think they ever really went away, but it's middle of 19th of May to we're like up 5x. So this kind of silent moon is happening here, and you're starting to see people kind of like twig onto it. There's been this dog to the moon went ballistic. I think it tapped $1 billion market cap. So like these are like the things where like they're easy headlines to write. Oh, runes hits $1 billion market cap, blah 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 blah. Then people start paying attention. So it's always these kind of like easy round numbers or easy headlines that puts people's attention back onto it. Which one's the one I missed? This is the one I missed. So I bought some earlier, but I think it probably continues. This is only 4 mil market cap. So I basically missed a 10x. But there's a lot happening. There's a lot of like big movers on the day.
So just before we carry on to the next thing, there was actually a really good question that was asked in chat. Let me just scroll up here from Ali, and I'll put it on the screen. And essentially, how do you guys know when to cut a position? You had a strong thesis on whales, but the coin seems to have died. Okay, so there's quite a lot of layers to this kind of answering this question. So I'll do my best to get through everything as quickly as possible. So let's first talk about when to cut a position. For me, there's two choices that I have in something. Generally, it's choice number one, and choice number one is I'm not here to pick up pennies in front of steamrollers. So what does that actually mean? If I place a bet on something, especially like something that's very high risk, I'm not interested in doing 2 and 3x's. I mean, I'm very happy for you if that's your strategy. For me, I want to do a minimum of a 10 to 15x. I decide based on what those volumes look like and what that coin is doing. But if I don't get to the 10 or the 15x or even the 20x that I've decided that I want from it, I honestly I'd much rather just let it go to zero. That's just the way that I am. So those are my kind of high risk plays. And then the second option is that I want to go into something like really quickly, and I'm quite happy to do the 2 or the 3x, but it's very seldom that I'm in a situation like that. And then I suppose, with the second option are the longer term play options, where it's kind of like, okay, well, I believe that Pepe is going to do a 10x from here. A lot of people think that I'm smoking crack. It's at $6 billion. How on earth do you honestly think that this thing is going to go to 60 bill? I think it will go to 50, 60 bill. That is my thesis. I have my reasons for it. I can sit down and write probably 20 points as to why I think it's going to do that. But then I'm prepared. Then I'll wait. Then I'm willing to take the opportunity cost that comes with that. But generally speaking, unless it's a blue chip, unless I feel that it's got room to really grow and expand, I want to see quick gains in a relatively short period of time, or I'll kind of like take the smaller gains. But generally, I almost always go with option one. Give me the 10 to 20 X's. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, I'm not going to get all caught up and upset about it. And then disregards whales, just in terms of whales for me right now is an opportunity cost. This chart right now really does look like it's bottomed. And it's kind of like, okay, well, do I really want to place a bet and kind of see an easy 10x out of whales? Is it going to happen now? Maybe it will. Maybe now is a good time to buy. Do I think that whales has got another 10x in it? Absolutely, 100% I do. The same as pups. Pups has been probably one of the worst trades that I've taken this year, just because I was impatient. But I think pups will find its narrative and its moment, and it will do a 10x from here. In fact, it's almost like a given based on what people are thinking and saying about it at the moment. So it all comes down to personal preference, Ali. It's just, what are you comfortable with? Are you patient? I know people that have held on to coins for 2-3 years and have come back and done 100x's. That's their risk profile and their appetite. I don't know how you navigate this kind of space, Grant, but that's kind of my thesis on
it. Yeah, it's a difficult one. It's definitely case by case and then situation by situation basis. So, like with this, for example, what was the thesis? The thesis is buying runes is fucking dog shit. It takes a fucking lifetime. No one likes doing it. It's completely terrible UI UX. Whales market has an option to be able to purchase it through Solana, and they handle it in the back end, and that's the kind of thesis. They are pushing now towards this runes DEX, where I'm trying to get as much information on it as best as possible. I can't get I won't get a peep out of them, but I think they're trying to pivot to make it a little even more simple. So this was like an OTC kind of desk for runes, and then they're going to push towards this more runes DEX. I don't know what that looks like. It hasn't necessarily caught on that this is an avenue for trading this. If trading activity pops up when runes DEX comes online and then this starts to clear like very, very obvious levels, then I'd be interested again. But as Jerry's saying, when the market's as fast moving as it is right now, I don't need to be holding on to anything that is not going in the right direction personally. I'd rather just hold SOL, USDC. And as soon as I don't mind being a little bit late to it as well. I'm not one to try and snipe bottoms of anything. I don't really give a shit, to be honest. I'd much rather be late post confirmation that we're moving in the right direction than be sat around waiting for all this shit. And then stuff like this doesn't really fill me. Just like,
yeah,
that's
so sus, dude. Yeah, like
nice little breakout and then just completely sold into it. Doesn't really fill me full of confidence, and particularly when there's stuff moving in the markets as they are, and everyone seems to be doing pretty well, then it'd be a little bit silly of me to just hold on to that for the sake of it. Just to try and be right. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You need to like check your ego as well sometimes, and just like not just try and force a trade to try and be right. You just gotta make money and not be right.
Well, I mean, a perfect example of just kind of accepting what is like Stan, dude. As far as I'm concerned, Stan is the funnest and the greatest meme from a production perspective I've ever seen in this market. But I sold my Stan because I just couldn't deal with this fake out after fucking whale dumping after dumping. And it was kind of like, I love what they do, and I always will, and I continue to like their posts, and I think they're awesome. But I don't know, dude. Look at that. It's just it finds momentum, and then some clown or some group of clowns out there just feel like, you know what, it's free money. We're just going to keep on dumping this thing, and I don't want to be anything. I don't want to have any part of this game.
You can probably size it. Well, I was going to say you can probably size it depending on how much you want to get out of it. If you were just willing to like set the amount on fire and just buy it and close your eyes and then put it in a graveyard wallet, as Gaz and Ollie have taught us. And Alex is on the graveyard wallet train now, where you don't even have to look at it. And one day, just one day, they're gonna run out of tokens, and they're still gonna be posting, and it's gonna probably go to 100 mil basically overnight. So
you know what I found really interesting on the thesis of these kind of coins? Go and look at Retardio. This is a very interesting one, because Retardio it's got very similar price action to both Stan and Whales is extreme, but Whales and Stan, Retardio and Stan, very similar price action in terms of the way that the chart has been painted. And I think Retardio, dare I say it, is actually starting to come out of what I seem to see as being Whales running out of coins to sell. Could be wrong, because I haven't really studied it closely, but that's what I'm starting to see on the 70 mil.
I'm starting to see this as, is this your exposure to poly market? Obviously that huge raise that they've just had. There's obviously some connection there. I don't know if it's similar to what Hyperliquid are doing with Per. I don't know, but this is like the way that Polymarket in turn goes on about Retardio. It seems to me that there must be something there. But then the only thing that makes me think that's not the case is because like Vitalik's been a huge proponent of Polymarket and prediction markets and stuff like that, and he's on the cap table. And if anything stinks of Solana, I don't think he didn't go anywhere near it. But regardless, I think this is a bit of a Polymarket proxy. And if so, then it should be fucking repriced. But you need everyone else to believe the same lies that you tell yourself for that to happen.
So what you're doing right now is that you're actually telling us a whole lot of your lies that you think are truth.
I'm trying to get you to believe my lies.
Okay, but look at
I
this
don't
chart
have any anymore because it's
so let's test the theory in terms of like, okay, so are we reaching an area right now with Retardio? I mean, it has been here before, and obviously there's that level, that fucking giant wick that is the telltale sign. But now this to me looks like a legit breakout. We're in day 4 of it, and I think the guys have run out of coins. That's what I think is going on here. 4 days in a row. We have not seen that for a while. So let's see. I hope I'm right. Because this thing right now should be at $500 million. I just don't understand how it's still at 23 million. The greatest tongue-in-cheek meme that we've seen this cycle.
It's starting to look appealing, to be honest, but that gets faded again, then
then it's done.
God help us all.
Let's look at WIF quickly.
WIF,
just quick, because we do have Gaz in chat here.
Oh God, it's on my other watch list.
No, it was on your watch list. You just scrolled past it. That's why I said let's take a look at it. So this I think this chart right now is really interesting, because it obviously, were you around when the duck was giving this thing stick?
Who gave GCR?
So Don Alt was shorted this thing, and he called top on it. Obviously, he didn't call top on it forever. He just called top. It's a local top. I'm going to short it. And he got basically thrown to the wolves, and he obviously navigated it, I thought, pretty well. But, and then people came out and said, okay, well, it's over for memes now. And then obviously we know that it's not over for memes, and it won't be this whole cycle. And in fact, we'll always have memes, and they'll be a permanent fixture. But what was interesting is that WIF actually took quite a lot of heat, and it's been ranging now for quite a long time. And the question is anyone buying WIF at the moment?
I
And
think
waiting
it looks great.
for waiting for a 10x on this thing. What's the sentiment, do you think?
I think as soon as it starts, as soon as we starting to touch fours and getting above fours and then reclaiming that area, I think it's fucking off to the races with this. I think it looks really good. What you don't want to happen is ETH to continually take over and to put Sol down a little bit, but I think it's just a test of patience for people who are holding like long-term bags, and I think it looks really, really good. I really don't want the sphere to come anytime soon because I think that tops it a little bit. But yeah, I was saying to you about like the OG like perps traders who like open 3 trades a year on XRP, Litecoin, and fucking Bitcoin Cash and shit like that. And then what did I say to you? Is it's like when Michael Jackson started playing, not Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan started playing baseball. It's like it's a total different fucking arena. Just
totally. So just for everyone out there who didn't know this, the real oracle is Hickson, not Ansem. Ansem actually reads what Hickson writes, and then he just repeats. So Hickson has instructed us to go and look at the MFER, the motherfucker chart on base. And I also like this one. I obviously have bags on this thing, and I've been shilling it nonstop, and I will never stop until it goes to $1 billion.
if it goes to $1 billion, you'll never see me again. Yeah, Hickson caught me in a I don't know what I was playing at, but I bought way too much of this thing.
That's too funny, dude.
What's funny. It on? MFR on base.
MFER on base. Where is it? No, there it is. No,
this one
must be liquidity 1.9. Absolutely, it must be. Yeah.
This one. Yes.
Yeah,
no?
It must be this one. Yes, Hickson, is this the one? He would call it, yeah. This is the perfect time to call it. Good call, dude. This is a great chart. 53 mil market cap. This thing has got so much room to move. Well, how down is it from the highs? Just bring the ruler out.
That high, or which high are we going from? This.
No, let's go with that one. It will always fill the wick. It's just the rule, yeah.
Fill the wick. 83.
Okay, looked like a lot more.
Still pretty good. Right. What have we got in the title? Just so I actually cover what's in the title. Yeah. So are we all in agreement? All-time high soon.
For what? There's a lot of all-time highs that are happening right now, my brother.
Bitcoin ETH.
Yeah, I think ETH's going to have her moment, dude. It's just a matter of time, and when it happens, it's going. I mean, that move when you were on holiday was proper. People were crying because they had sold their ETH and they'd bought Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin and Solana and all that stuff. I never sold any of my ETH, and I'm not selling any of it because I know what's coming, and it's going to be fucking glorious when it happens. And Bitcoin's this consolidation of 96 days now is just great. It's fantastic. It's exactly what you want. You want people to come in and crying about the top and it's over and it's summer and all that kind of shit. And the more they go on and bleat on about that, you know what's coming. It's just great.
Just one quick one before we move on to some of the country coins that are popping. Trump. There was I think we did a little news article. If anyone didn't know, we were doing news now as well. But like they've all ripped since kind of guilty verdict. But I still think Trump flips Biden.
I like Tremp.
And what we at 133. And bought in 183. So it's getting fucking close.
So is this now our indicator for the elections? You called it many months ago, and it looks like it's playing out.
I think so, but there's kind of, I don't really keep up with it at all because I like to not get dragged into all this like bullshit. But isn't there like rumors of him pulling out? So the real bet is who steps in. Wouldn't it be like Kamala Harris? So I don't know. I don't know. But like, I still think Trump flips Biden. People laughed, but it is.
So you know what's been a really interesting one for me, and it's been great trading it short term on leverage on Bybit. And no, we're not sponsored by Bybit, but like was Brett.
They can sponsor us if they want.
They can if they want, yes. So Brett was one of those kind of like silly ones that it was so obvious in hindsight and all that kind of stuff. And I just thought kind of like that picture of Brett, I just thought was just so dumb and was like, I'm not fucking buying that. And look at this chart, bro. This thing is going into territory of blow off top, like a proper blow off top. And I reckon it does it a 2x from here. That's my call for a blow offer.
I see some fat size going into it today.
Fat size, dude. Absolute fat size. This thing has been the easiest thing to trade probably in the last 2 years for me.
Is this normally relaunch? Is that right or not? Or does it relaunch today? I don't know. I was aware when that's happened. So before I went away, some seeds were planted. Vixen, don't get me excited. So big summer of sport, Olympics, Euros, Copa America. So anyone who's American will probably need to get in touch with anyone who plays some actual football to understand what the hell's going on, who's good and who's shit. But everything in this basket seems to be picking up. A lot of them are launching on pumped up funds, so you can probably scan that, double check that there isn't one already. But obviously, Olympic torch.
That's so epic, dude. Look at that logo. It's so freaking dumb.
But obviously, America Coin is doing really well. Most very patriotic people, the Americans. Germany, pretty good one. I can't imagine they do very well in Euros. They tend to do pretty well in the Olympics, but coin doesn't seem to be holding up very well. England, people in the UK have got an extremely large gambling problem across the board because there's a wage crisis. So I can certainly imagine this one to move higher. And I think we probably do okay at the Euros as well, despite everyone hating us. And then you've kind of got, as I was saying, like narratives inside narratives, you've got some players that will probably pop up at the Euros. So Mbappe just had a big move to Real Madrid, probably going to do okay. This Jude Bellingham, spelled Jood, like it's fucking went ballistic today.
Don't go buying that, guys.
So this is like bubbling. This like the 16-year-old kid for Spain that just had a fucking space needle. So this is kind of like bubbling the service. People are making some decent returns on it, but I still think it's relatively early. Some of them are like less than a mil market cap and stuff like that. So, but I think the best ones are probably out in the open unless something big kind of happens in the Euros. But I don't know. But that's been like a really nice. When you open your wallet and you see the returns on that one after coming back off holiday, that one's a pretty good one. Did you get any of these?
I didn't actually, and I was just head down at the time, and like I was meaning to similar scenario to you, like I'll buy it the next morning, but it was just like I still think it's fine to buy now. I think 3 mil, 3.5 mil, that's so cool. I mean, realistically, that's not a very high market cap, and I think it's probably still reasonable, I would imagine.
Just stupid, isn't it?
So Base is the only one that's really like seen like decent momentum on memes for the most part, besides obviously Solana, which has led the charge up until now. I think Brett really has shown us what Space potentially has to offer. And then obviously the smart wallet that came out yesterday, I think it was, that Coinbase launched, which is what we always spoke about in the bear, was does Coinbase and Base provide the gateway for the normies and for more retail to come into the space? And it clearly seems like that is their strategy, which is great to see. And I think it would be honestly the way to go for this market, to introduce newcomers through Base and obviously Coinbase. And yeah, we need that retail influence at the moment, like proper retail influence. Even though we are retail, we need more people, newcomers to come in and make some money. We really do need that.
I'm more surprised that Brett went to $1 billion and the liquidity was on SushiSwap than anything else.
That is, I didn't actually know that. That's very interesting.
5.4 mil on Sushi.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Benji's a good one as well that I've been watching. I don't have a bag. Like it's done really well. Like over the last few days. Just go to the daily. Yeah, this thing, I mean, it's at 52 mil. I mean, I don't like buying this kind of thing, but if there's any major pullback on this thing, which I'm hoping happens, I'm definitely getting some.
Where's my base watch list? I haven't really been following it too much, but there's got to be some
I only started following it about 2 days ago. I was just looking through the base coins, and then I just saw, shit, there's a lot of volume going through this thing. And yeah, we haven't quite chilled it yet. The pirate is in channel. Hey dude. You bought yesterday, didn't you, or the day before? You're in since yesterday, I think. He was like, he only owns one meme coin. Well, he only owned one meme coin, and then he's like, what else should I buy? And I was like, dude, how can you not have based? Honestly. Like, how can you not have based on base? And he went and bought bag. Yesterday he bought, that's right. Well done, dude. Well done. Welcome to the crew, bro. This thing, we need to take this thing to $1 billion. That's what we need to do, so that we can all retire, and then we're going to have a big party on an island somewhere, and I'll pay for it.
So what also was funny was BSC season came back for all of 24 hours, and I've lost a fucking fortune on this Binance cat. Oh god, not good. It's not good. Yeah, it doesn't look great. I might have to cut the remainder of that. But
no, this is what you don't. The last thing you do is cut it.
I'm gonna have to leave it. Like I'm gonna have
just
to
leave it, dude. This becomes a graveyard. That's what this one is.
Yeah, and there was what was the other one? Cummies is making a comeback.
Oh, that's right. You were posting about this earlier. I can't believe this thing is making a comeback. No pun intended.
Yeah, this thing was look at this.
Okay, so I've noticed that you've been swinging for the fences on Binance Chain. Can you please give us your thesis around this? What's going on? Is it a BNB thing? What's prompted this interest in BSC and the like?
BNB hitting all-time highs, and 4 more. Yeah, I couldn't. If Cummies in Iran and I didn't have any, I'm not doing my job. I'm not doing
Fair
my job
enough.
correctly. So we're still holding out. But this is an example of how fucking crazy things got last cycle. Like, look at that fucking thing there. 32x away from here.
Wow. So this is the kind of thing that definitely does need consideration around placing a bet, because you're right. I mean, like, this is the kind of thing that would run. Like, it's just an obvious one, isn't it? And I bet you we're going to land up reflecting on this particular one on the show and saying, "Told you."
I can't believe this cat needs fucking putting down though. Why the fuck did I buy this? How can it be down 62% in one day? I don't fucking know. This is another one. I'm seeing these memes go around all over the place. I think cool. I like the idea. I like the idea of this more than the chart, but I probably sized a little bit too heavy into it.
Of course. Of course you'd like that. Why am I not surprised?
Yeah, I just get drawn in by funny shit and then lose a lot of money on it all the time.
So I want to just kind of like chat about, I'm just looking on one of my screens here. So Spectral. Check how that thing is done, dude. Like, and I haven't seen a lot on the timeline with regards to Spectral token. And, you know, these guys are building AI agents. It's actually like, is that the right chart? Yeah, it is. It is the right chart. So I think this thing carries on grinding. I don't think it stops. Obviously I have a bag, but I also like the fact that there aren't any like team tokens floating around. Obviously they're locked, and you can see it in the price action. Like, this is very typical, like, organic, you know, buys and sells and the rest of it. And I think it's going to carry on grinding up. I added quite a bit on that major dip when it hit the 14.5, and it's been a good one for me, this one. And I think this one quite easily, in my opinion, does a 10x. The cycle, easy 10x.
Wow, that's a fucking fat table.
Yeah, that is a fat table. Unfortunately, their token, it's like a year, and then it's small unlocks along the way. It's the tokenomics on that side of it are actually really good. I like this. I like what it's been doing from a price action perspective.
Yeah, just a slow grind up. It's good.
Yeah,
you kind of want that, because like you've ridiculous candles just get fucking sold into too easily.
So Pups has found its rhythm again, it seems. Someone's trying to kind of exit, but it seems like the buy pressure's, I mean, the buy pressure's there.
You'd expect it to, with everything that's happening on Runes at the minute. Still think people are sleeping on it. I
don't think so, no.
So I was having a conversation with Ollie yesterday. I think if anyone's got hyperliquid points or pair, they're probably going to do pretty damn well. These guys raised no money, you know.
I know, and they haven't got anything on their agenda to do any kind of raise either. Tell me about Per quickly. I don't know the history on this one, and I think obviously it's significant.
It's a meme coin that launched on Hyperliquid's DEX.
Okay.
And people who'd used the DEX previously got airdropped it based on kind of usage and volume profile. So instead of it, you'd like it typically working out if you'd put some size through it and you put some volume through the exchange and you'd get the native token. They've airdropped pair. I can imagine they've done it to test the waters and see how that's going. I can imagine if they actually drop the Hyperliquid token, it's probably going to go some proportion to pair holders and some proportion to traders who put some serious volume through. But back to our trusty whales market, hyperliquid points. Yeah, they're going for like $5.50. So I think it's going to do really well. I think it's going to act as like a monad beta without the shitty supply overhang, like say, which is fucked in my opinion. But yeah, I'd keep a close eye on this. I'm thinking about buying some points or just picking up a load of the meme coin because I think it's going to do really, really well. And it kind of feeds into the whole, it's the antithesis of what everyone's fucking sick of like VC backed. And this kind of proves that you don't necessarily need that if you're a little bit of cash yourself and you're a workhorse and you've got a good team, you know.
There's enough community and members of community that have funds that will essentially angel invest in inverted commas to the extent that you don't actually need VCs. If you look at the cap table that Tapioca underwent, and trust me, they spent a lot of money on their security, having 15,000 lines of code is the reason why they've been delayed in inverted commas once again for over 2 years, is that you can either go the VC route and sell the dream and then be beholden to these large bag holders, or you can go and get angel funding. And if you look at the cap table that Tapioca have got, they managed to navigate a very big bill on security and other things for 2.5 years off the back of angel investment. And that's a testimony for you. And they did that obviously during the bear. Now imagine during a bull. I reckon good projects with good product market fit, you won't need VCs or anything like that. You could raise the money quite easily through community. MOG. Talking of community, go to the MOG chart immediately. I have a sneaky suspicion that there's a connection between Based and MOG. And I think this is one of the coolest memes out there. One of the frickin' most hell-bent communities out there, which a lot of the Based guys are in as well. And I think this thing at 526 million market cap is an absolute insult to the whole market. And the sooner that it goes to 5 billion, the happier I'll be. And yes, yeah. I'm shilling my bags.
Yeah, I got mug pilled when we did a still early episode with Org. I didn't have a fucking clue what I was going to ask him, but it's like, why do you steer the conversation with this one? But they've absolutely
so Grant's referring to an interview that he did with the founder of MOG. It's actually super cool. It's worth watching. Go check it out on the Founder Series channel and Blockmates.
It's on Still Early.
Is it on Still Early? Okay, it's on Still Early. Yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. And yeah, you can't be fading this one, in my opinion. It's one of the good ones in all the mix and everything that's out there. This is definitely one of the most interesting ones. Go and follow the MOG community if you're not in it. Promise you 5 minutes in.
Just tweet MOG and you'll get inundated and get indoctrinated at the same time.
So
just any requests?
What requests are there? Yeah,
10 minutes or something, haven't we? What do you think about this?
Yeah, so I actually, you know what I saw, which was quite interesting. I was quite indifferent about it. It's like, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Robinhood. I think they've done some doo-doo stuff along the way, especially in the last cycle where they stopped dudes from trading and all sorts of shenanigans. But I think those are the calls you've got to make. It doesn't matter. And it's like kind of like reserve my judgment on it. And then I saw Dan Hughes from Radix, the founder of Radix, super cool dude, good friend of ours. He posts, well, it looks like I'm gonna have to close my freaking my bit account. Looks like I'm done, like I'm done. Like, so I want to ask him why. Like, what's the problem? So what do you think? What do you think of the whole purchase?
I think it's probably net positive. I think they've got a really good deal, but don't trust them as far as I can throw them. I certainly wouldn't be putting any money on there.
Unless
they're just going to like absorb it all into Robinhood, where again, I certainly wouldn't be putting any money on there. But like net, I think it's good.
Moocat, I haven't seen this one. It's a cool name, actually.
So Apple's like the derp Apple.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Bottom.
That looks very bottomy.
Apple chart stonk looks ready to break out.
So I bought this when you were away. I was on air with Toasty, with Circa, and he was very bullish on it around the Apple kind of like connection, and I bought some, but I unfortunately sold it at a bit of a loss and ran for the hills.
Moocat. I think cats are coming back. I think cats going to have the day in the sun.
2.7 market cap. It's not a bad chart, eh? It's actually like retesting here. It's bounced. This is a great chart.
It looks a bit painty.
Well, that's because you got such a freaking small liquidity pool there. That's why.
Someone's got the paint brush out, it looks like. Capri, I don't know what this one is. You could be telling me.
Yeah, there's a couple of the guys in the pit. A couple of guys in the pit were very bullish on this for a while. I told them it was going to go to zero. They didn't believe me, and it almost went to zero. But this, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't buy this. Not me personally.
I don't know why it's too slow, but I was going to look at the holder distribution. But pretty funny. I'll give it a strong 6.5.
6.5. I would have given it like a 4.5.
What have we got? Modelo. Yeah, it looks like everyone's doing the beer coins. This is what I mean. It's like fucking minefield. And it kind of gets a bit frothy when narrative's changing every 2 minutes. Didn't Modelo overtake Bud Light recently? It's like the most sold beer in the US. And then Bud Light went and sponsored Shane Gillis, so comeback arc might be on.
This one that CryptoTube is listed, Carl. I know that you were one of the first to actually talk about this thing a while ago. The hedgehog, obviously, and I know that Dan then kind of like spoke about it quite a bit last week, and then it kind of broke some hearts. So is the hedgehog a heartbreaker? What's the story with this thing?
I don't know anything about this one.
Oh, okay, so it wasn't you who brought it up initially. It's not a bad chart, actually. 430k mark might be worth a small punt.
Yeah, I 430 definitely. Hedgehog meta. Have you just made that up, guys? Is that just like a meta? Did you just put a word and then meta after it?
Yes, of course he did.
You can't just do that and will it into existence.
This is the guy that does a news report every day on the state of the market whilst climbing into a 10-degree ice bath. He definitely made that up. There's no ways that is something until as of now. DMT, I hate this thing. Am I allowed to say that? Am I allowed to say that I hate this thing?
You are?
Just because I had a bag of this thing, and that price action at the bottom there just drove me out, and then I sat back and watched it go to Nirvana.
I'm not really bullish L3s, to be honest, but I think their product's good enough to stand on its own 2 feet. But
yes, it's done well though.
Yeah, really well. Impressive.
Do you think it carries on?
Probably. Strong cult-like community behind it as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
Do I have anything else? Anything big? No, just still waiting for Arweave and Phantom to move.
So there was a lot of talk around Phantom. Yeah, a lot of talk around Phantom and Sonic, and I mean, is that gonna at some point find traction? Because I mean, this thing is the fastest thing out there at the moment, isn't it?
There's a free report we did It should just be on the landing page. If you just head to blockmates.com, there it is.
Yeah, just for your
And
info,
if you're really lazy, you can listen to it.
Yeah, Grant was on the news section of our website. Just for your information, we have a news writer and a team behind it in terms of putting out relevant news that comes out. So yeah, go subscribe to the Twitter account and support it. We want to do the new stuff as well, and I'd really appreciate the support, guys.
Anything else?
That's it. Just to close off, Luke says that he's been waiting for fucking Arwe for 87 years for a breakout. Clearly, he's got a bag and it's growing algae on it, and he's frustrated.
The same, aren't we all?
So
if you go ahead.
I was going to say, closing statement from me. If you're not bullish, then what the fuck are you doing here? Really, if you're not bullish right now, then you need to sell your coins because you're not bullish, right? And you need to go and flip burgers or go and help your mom move furniture, whatever the case is. We're going higher, guys. We're going much higher.
So, if you listen on YouTube or you listen on Twitter, if you could do us a favor and hit like on the Blocmates TV channel on YouTube. It's notoriously difficult to grow on YouTube if you're not willing to pull a fucking moon boy face on the thumbnail. So and I'm certainly not willing to do that. So if you could do us a favor, do that, and then we will. Is there anything else? Oh, might be a meal deal announcement for subs coming today or tomorrow. No pressure, Mike. So keep your eye on that, and then see you all in Discord. Bye.